This was the last frontier. Well into the 1920s, they found a way to live on the land and make it their own.
It's a different way of life, you know, because we are so isolated.
Everglades' finest. Delicious.
My grandfather came here in the late 1800s. He bought this island for $900.
Oh, it's massive.
People definitely do not swim anywhere in the Everglades.
Let's stop at this island. Bugs are hardcore. Look at all these guys. I've never experienced anything like this. This is downtown?
Downtown Chokoloskee.
A lot of outlaws came out here.
This is Watson's place, Bloody Ed Watson.
It's a tight-knit community. We all watch out for each other.
One of the most prehistoric species there are out here.
It's burned, it's flooded.
And it's still here.
Luis Lopez.
1901.
This is still Everglades.
The man, the myth, the legend, Harrison.
Here we are. Welcome to Everglade City.
Is that a 21st century canoe? What do we got going here?
This is a canoe. It's a custom-made boat. Bigger than a canoe, probably double as wide, but it's really good for getting into skinny water.
Harrison sank safe and dry. But we're getting out in the Gulf of Mexico too, right?
We will. We'll be eventually popping out to the Gulf, but we're going to run through something in the back called the Wilderness Waterway. There's a lot of bays and rivers and stuff, and they eventually lead out to the Gulf.
Is anyone out there?
Today? I doubt it.
Awesome.
We have it to ourselves today. Everybody knows the Wild West. At the Wild West, the frontier closed in 1890 something, 1896. I don't know, fact check me on that. But this was the last frontier. Well into the 1920s, the Everglades, where people could come, settle the land, and if they could improve the land, then they could keep it. And the families of the settlers still live here today, so very unique place.
So these are old homesteading properties?
Old homesteading properties, but from not that long ago, only 100 years ago. No one wanted to come here specifically because if you see, the land's not very solid. The bugs can get out of control, and I mean out of control, but they found a way to live on the land and make it their own. I saw it too late. It's all good.
Sandbar?
Yeah.
So how do you know? You're cruising through these.
It's tough. You have to like notice the shades of brown in the water. I saw it like 10 seconds too late.
Oh yeah, that's like what, 2 feet deep?
No, it's like a foot. I can run in a foot.
So is it because the tide is out?
It's because the tide's super low and we're on a full moon, so the tide's swinging even more than usual, you know? It's like a foot lower than even the lowest low. Man, you had to get me on film running into a sandbar. That's embarrassing.
Well, that's it.
Yeah. Ain't no thing.
Was someone living on this island?
I think it was 2,000, 3,000 years ago. Calusa Indians, or the Calusa Native Americans, they would pile shells up until they made land. You can still see it today. It's absolutely incredible, the manpower required to do that.
You mean for this whole island?
For this specific little area. So this little area is dry land that they could get up on, regardless of how high the tide would come. They could be there safe. Look at that, still there thousands of years later. There's a rumor, I think archaeologists found artifacts or whatever, that the Calusa Indians grew to be 7 feet tall. Because of the genetics of being in the swamp for so long, they would be tall to be above the water, kind of like a stork or something. Seriously. Now we're on the Lopez River.
Lopez River?
Lopez River. He was an old settler back in the 1800s. This is his river.
In living here, I mean, it's a maze. Turn after turn, this all looks the same.
Yeah.
So you were saying a lot of outlaws came out here. Outlaw houses.
Outlaw houses, people living, with shacks in the mangroves. Imagine trying to find somebody here.
Right.
If you know your way around and the person chasing you doesn't, how are you gonna find them? Never will. This is Watson's place, named after Bloody Ed Watson.
Okay.
He was an outlaw.
Nice.
Soft landing. This is the place that probably has the most historical rubble or whatever still. There was a couple of Wild West people. Supposedly he, did away with them in a gunfight. And then he came out here to hide from the law in the late 1890s into the 1900s. And supposedly the rumor is he would hire people to help him maintain the land, grow crops, and then the people would disappear. So his workers would disappear. And eventually the town of Chokoloskee had enough of his antics. And the last time he went into town, the whole town was there up in arms, ready, and they had at him and, swift trial, let's put it that way. And that was the end of Bloody Ed Watson, but this is where he lived.
And we're like 15, 20 miles south into the Everglades from where we started, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying he had a plantation out here?
He had a plantation. He was trying to grow crops. I think this is the last place in America where he thought anybody would look for him, and he was right about that for a good bit.
So do you know how many people Ed Watson killed?
They say it's in the upwards of 20s and 30s, maybe more than that. He would hire people, have them work here, and then refuse to pay them.
Whew. Okay, this is interesting in the Everglades. I wouldn't expect trees like this here.
That's interesting you found it too.
Right?
That's a gumbo limbo tree.
Gumbo limbo?
Yeah, people make a big deal about it when you find the gumbo limbo trees. This is one right here. It's really cool that we found one. It goes to show you that anything can grow.
Okay, so we're up a few feet from the swamp.
Yep.
And then it's just basically forest, huh?
It turns into a forest. Oh man.
What is this, an animal trail?
I was gonna say, what'd you step in here? I thought it was some eggs here you stepped in. That'd been cool. Or some old eggs.
Is there anything poisonous as far as plants?
No, there's no poison ivy here. You don't really see ticks. You just have to watch out for water moccasins, which the water we're in is too salty to support them. So we're good on the poisonous snakes.
Well,
bugs wise, nothing really poisonous.
Bugs are hardcore. Look at all these guys.
Yeah, I know. And
right on my back.
And this is the middle of the day. This is not bad.
Jeez.
They don't have many mammals coming through here, do they?
One of the pro tips is don't stay still out here or you'll just get mauled alive, right?
Yeah, by the bugs. The bugs are no joke. And again, right now, like I told you, Peter, even these bugs that are on you, this is like a 2 out of 10. This is nothing. This is nothing compared to how it can get. Whew. Middle of the day, it shouldn't really be that bad, but you're seeing it. This is all salt water here. One of the main things that they had to worry about back then was having fresh water to drink. And they would make these things called cisterns, this and this, where they would collect fresh water from the rainy months and leave it here and, protect it as much as they could, not let the bugs get into it, obviously. And that's how they would have their drinking supply. But if you could even, look at this. This is in 2024. Look at these bugs on us. Imagine back then before there was people flying over fumigating the bugs.
Oh, so they're fumigating this now?
They're in the 60s and 70s, they would fly over with planes and, drop DEET and all this stuff to sort of mosquito population control. So one could only imagine that it was worse back then.
Okay, so this was the fresh water.
Cistern,
which they would just get from the sky.
They would get from the sky.
Rainwater. And then what was this?
This is, I'm pretty sure this was related to this.
Okay.
Might want to check me on that, but this was like the large holding pool, and I think this was the filtration system.
Okay. And then this machine here, something for the plantation?
Something for the plantation. Obviously, it still remains. I'm no plantation man myself, so I can't say I've ever used one of these, but it's solid. It's solid rust.
Not an easy life out here, I can imagine.
Probably one of the hardest lives you can imagine.
Right, I'd put this in comparison with Inuit people way up north in Alaska.
Would you be willing to live in the bitter, negative 20-degree cold,
right.
Or would you be wanting to deal with? Look at this amount. It's really the bugs. It's the bugs. It's the thing.
It is the bug. Yeah, the bugs.
The bugs is the thing.
How do you do this? You just get used to being bit up?
It's a mental thing, and I know that sounds easier said than done. And bug spray, you can put bug spray all over you. They'll laugh at it. They'll drink the bug spray. They don't care out here. They could care less about bug spray.
All right, Harrison, I say we go. Is that a good idea?
Yeah. When the sun comes down here, man, oh my God.
Yeah. Any romantic idea of I'm just gonna remove myself from society and live out here is, I think, squashed pretty quickly for people once they see that reality.
It really is the bugs. If it wasn't for them, maybe maybe this would all be populated. So I guess they're a blessing in disguise in that way.
I'm surprised there's so much space out here. I was thinking Everglades more of airboats, right?
Airboats, you'd be surprised. People think the Everglades, they think gators and crocodiles, but there's dolphins too, tons of dolphins. So hopefully we get into some today.
So this is the one house we've seen since the mainland like an hour ago.
Pretty much, yeah. So this just gives you an idea of how some people used to live out here before they made it all a national park. Some of the stuff was grandfathered in, like this house is probably grandfathered in. That's why they're allowed to remain on national park property.
Okay.
But again, your guess is as good as mine as to who it belongs to.
It's a national park, but nobody is out here. I mean, the camera's not capturing it, but we're out there.
Oh, we're way out there.
Like this feels very remote. One of the most remote places I've been, to be honest. And all the traveling I've done, like as far as how many humans are in a square mile, 2 right now.
You and me. Yeah,
That's it.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah, amazing.
Definitely makes you feel free. There he is.
Oh, beautiful.
He's having lunch.
So these are freshwater dolphins?
Oh, here he goes right, here he goes right.
Oh.
They go, no, they're regular dolphins, saltwater bottlenose dolphins, but they go up into the fresh, no problem.
Look at how fast he is.
Yeah, he's fast as hell.
Oh, it's massive.
Yeah, I know, they're huge. Yeah, like 8 feet. He's got battle scars too.
From what?
Shark attacks, fighting with, mostly shark attacks. People definitely do not swim anywhere in the Everglades. There's so many bull sharks in here, and the water's so murky. Those bull sharks, they take a little investigational bite. I wouldn't want to be on the
bull
other side.
Sharks.
The worst kind of sharks. You wouldn't expect dolphins to be back here in the swamp, but here they are.
Oh, not at all.
He's doing circles.
Oh, that is so awesome.
I hope we're not interrupting his feeding frenzy, but I think he's up here in a school of mullet, enjoying that. You know, oftentimes they're pretty friendly. Like, they'll come up to the boat. They know when an engine's on, and they'll come up to the boat.
Oh, they like the engine?
They like the engine, yeah. They like the weight coming off the boat. There he goes, staying left.
So he's just pulling the fish right off the mangroves?
He's pulling the fish that are coming right out of the mangroves. He's having a great time.
In this part of the Everglades, it's all about dolphins and sharks and not about alligators. Is that correct?
You will not see alligators in this part of the Everglades that much because we're so close to the salt. Gators are a little more lazy. They like to sit in the fresh water. This moves a little bit too much for them.
The current is pretty strong here.
The current always rips here, especially on the full moon.
So the Gulf of Mexico is out that way?
Correct. Yep,
okay.
We're heading west. We're gonna get there soon.
And then it just opens up, Gulf of Mexico.
Mexico's over there. Texas is over there. Key West is down there, exactly down there.
And you can smell the air is different here, salty air.
Salty air, it opens up. This is where the glades meets the ocean. It's a beautiful thing.
That's wild, so it's just a maze forever in there. A million different pathways.
Yeah, you could get lost in there, as you know, forever and ever.
And then, boom, out to sea.
Out to sea. I've seen the earliest maps of Florida, and when Ponce de Leon came here looking for the Fountain of Youth, he was running up and down the east and west coast of Florida, but on every map since the beginning of that time in the 1500s, look at that.
What was that? It was like a stingray or something.
That was those eagle rays. Those eagle rays jump out of the water. It's crazy. They're like 50, 60 pounds. That's what they do. Ponce de Leon came out here looking for it, and on every map that every cartographer has done since the 1500s, there's been a Chatham Bend. So it's obviously a place of significance that has existed since then.
And there were natives living out here at one time?
The Calusas and the Tequestas. There were natives that lived out here.
And what were they eating? Obviously the seafood, but on land, anything from
on land? On land, what you have a lot on land there is a lot of raccoons, and there was also a lot of deers. Deers swim very well. It's paradise to me. Look at this, beautiful. Look at that sandbar. You ever want a sandbar to yourself?
This is the place.
Well, I'm not gonna tell you where it is. Just joking.
Oh, this is so cool.
Look at this. Personal island.
So is this considered Everglades here?
This is still Everglades. For the next 3 miles out to the Gulf, this is still Everglades.
Okay.
Here's a horseshoe crab, or a dead one. One of the most prehistoric species there are out here. I think they're older than dinosaurs, right? Yeah, 500 million years old. They wash up, unfortunately, they die sometimes, but.
You know what I love about doing this work? One of the coolest things, I meet cool people from all over, but one of the coolest things is I always have something I think a place is gonna be like,
Yeah.
right? Like I think most of us do, like we think of what something or a type of person will be, and then you never know until you go. That's not the vision I had. So even something as supposedly as simple as the Everglades is
Very complex.
more complicated than one might think.
Yep. That's why I was so excited to show you, man.
Yeah, that's some petrified wood.
Petrified wood.
Yep. So I'm gonna make this claim and someone's gonna correct me, I'm sure. I'm sure there are wider swaths of land in Alaska.
Yes.
But I'm gonna say, and I never thought this, you might be able to get as remote as you can in Florida over the rest of the continental United States.
I would agree with you.
I'm trying to think of another place that you can get away from people for that long as far as, what do we sing, 15 miles there?
The round trip we just did was 30 miles. If we go in that direction, Peter, there is not civilization for another 70 miles till the Florida Keys. Wow. Yeah, maybe 80 miles till the Florida Keys from where we are.
And I was thinking Everglades, you know, it's a park. It's, you know, there's a highway going through it north of here, obviously. Like, you're not that far away from civilization, but this is like survivor stuff.
Yeah, no one's coming to get you out here, you know?
Yeah, okay. If the boat breaks down, we have engine issues. Let's check out the cell phone coverage, okay?
0.
Engine issues, can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, I got the SOS thing up there.
Oh wait, here's another one. SOS.
Right, so something happens out here, you're on your own.
Yeah, the Everglades teaches you how to, you know, be one for yourself, because honestly, if we were to break down, see that pole there? That would be me pulling us back for 30 miles.
We got your trolling motor.
We got a trolling motor. Yeah, you're right. We do have the trolling motor, but that might last a couple miles, and then we're we're pulling the whole way back. We might get there tomorrow.
Look at these little crabs going through the forest. Forest to them, small plants to us. They just all go in their holes.
Oh, the crabs?
Yep. It's sort of cool. It's like this miniature world, like they're going through a forest.
You want to know why they're called fiddler crabs? Check out this guy's claw. See, he only has one like this. He's not pinching me right now. But you see, they're called fiddler crabs because only one of their claws gets giant. So they're supposed to fiddle. There they are. Nice little guys. We'll let them go back to fiddling.
You're super passionate about the Everglades, obviously. Is that a normal thing for your age demographic and where you live in Miami, or what's the story there?
No, I would say it's less than, 3 to 5% of people that even know what the major points of the Everglades are. It's something that I kind of just discovered organically, you know.
Okay.
But I'm so glad I did. I actually feel bad for whoever doesn't know about the Everglades. So, Everglades finest right here, stone crabs.
Oh, nice.
In season, fresh, cracked.
And they all come from here?
And they all come from here.
Oh, awesome. So you just eat them raw? Is that how you do it?
Yeah, you just eat them raw, man.
Oh,
They're
nice.
Delicious.
Oh, look at that crab meat. Oh my God.
That's as good as it gets
amazing.
right here. That's as good as it gets right here. Just trying to bring it out. Here, this is you.
Oh, there we go. Can you hold this? Do you mind holding that?
Yeah.
Oh, perfectly cracked.
Perfectly
There's
cracked.
no work on these things.
Nope.
So you just bite it out.
Yeah, just like that. Delicious. Right? Pretty good, right?
So good. Sweet. A little salty.
Might have been swimming 3 or 4 days ago. That's what you want.
What is this texture? Is that just the fat on top?
That's just the fat. Exactly correct.
Okay.
Nice, man. Yeah, that's just the fat on top.
There's great nutrients in here, huh?
Yeah. If you had a stone crab pure diet, I think you'd be a pretty healthy man.
Watson was probably, huh?
Watson probably had all the stone crabs he wanted.
Where are we off to next?
We're gonna go to Chokoloskee now, Chokoloskee Island, yep.
To meet some of the people that call this zone home.
Yep, that they've been calling this home for the last 100 years. Beautiful thing. We'll be there in 20 minutes, maybe 30.
What's the Smallwood store?
The Smallwood store is the original founding place of Chokoloskee. It's been there, I think, since 1906. It's where everybody came from all around to sell what they hunted, buy whatever munitions they needed for the week, and this has been there since then. So it's the oldest store around. Boom.
Do I need to grab my bag or no?
No, no chance. No one's gonna take your bag.
No one steals around here?
No chance. How you doing? Lynn, how are you?
How you doing, man? Wow, what a cool place.
Over 95% of what's here is original. It was bought by boat.
You're from the original family?
My mother was the youngest daughter of Mr. Smallwood,
Okay.
the man that built the store here. My grandfather came here in the late 1800s. He bought this island for $900 from Santini.
Who's Santini?
He was the man that was here before my grandfather. He owned the island. And then my grandfather bought it from him. He made $900 above his living cost, I guess, in 1900 off of the tomatoes he farmed here. And he would go to Key West a lot with the produce that they grew here in the area. And it took a day to get there to Key West. And then it would go by Mallory Line to New York. And that took 3 days. So what was the tomatoes they grew here on this island were being delivered to New York back in 1900.
And these are old checks here.
Yeah, you wouldn't write one for 90 cents anymore. And you probably wouldn't even write one, so.
This is that guy Watson, that's him.
Yeah, he's one of our more famous characters. We have a lot of characters, though.
So when's the last time that you know of someone living out there in the Everglades?
Oh, well,
Was
the
it Watson?
When the park came in 1947, they didn't burn everything down right away, but they burned all of the old homesteads down. I think after around 1960s, whenever they did Watson's home. It's a different way of life, you know, because we are so isolated because of the parks and the preserves, you know. They say, well, how do you do that, you know? And it's like, well, my 25-minute drive to the grocery store is a lot nicer than yours is when in traffic.
This is a sawfish rostrum, so it's the nose of a sawfish. It's a prehistoric fish.
And that would have went to the end of the table,
Yeah.
on the counter there, and it would have weighed over 1,100 pounds.
Are they still out
Where the
there?
body is
There's
at.
sawfish still out there. I caught one not even a month ago, but they're having a big problem right now.
And
They
down
have
in the Keys, it's crazy.
They're spinning around and dying,
Yeah, and they
yeah.
can't figure out what's going on. But back in the day, when
Prehistoric
our
fish.
fishermen had these nets, and they would get those in there. Can you imagine trying to get that thing?
and they thrash them around too. Yeah. This
Can I
is-
touch it?
Yeah.
Huh?
Can I touch it?
And
Oh,
trying to get
so sharp.
loose, and they just tear your net up. Well, there's a nerve that goes down the middle of it, and if you take a hammer and you hit on the end of it, that'll kill it.
These shells have holes in them. All these ones that you find because the Calusa Native Americans that lived here, they would burrow holes in the shells and then use them as instruments, like a hammer or something for war. So all the ones that you find with holes in them are ancient artifacts.
There are no humans forever.
No,
Yeah.
they say there's a skunk ape.
Yeah, never seen that skunk ape.
Yeah.
Gotta keep looking.
There are two hermits?
Yeah, you guys were talking about how you saw the red house out there.
Yeah.
Someone lives in that, and there's another one where I think he might have passed away, but at least for the last like 2 decades, he was staying in there, real old man. And apparently, the only way he got there and back here was through kayak, which is insane.
I didn't
you know
know that. Well, whenever I was growing up, there were hermits here, and there was one, my second grade teacher. Her husband, he was a hermit that lived out here on Comer's Island. And whenever there was a hurricane or something, my dad would go out there and get him and bring him in because it was right there on the edge. And I really think that what it was, because it was an oyster shell mound kind of, it was like a post where the Calusas would have someone out there to warn them of approaching ships. But anyways, he lived out there, and before he came here, he was a very smart man. He sold the patent for glue to Elmer's
Oh.
for $100.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So he was a very smart man, but he did not like people. And whenever he came for Hurricane Donna in 1960, I was 4. And so when you get the barometric pressure, things go into labor and they deliver. Like my dog was pregnant, so she was having puppies. I had a hamster, it had babies. She was eating them. I was devastated over that. And Mr. Osmer, he was staying in the garage behind the motel with the animals because he didn't want to be around people. And then, of course, there was me with the dog and the hamster. So I'm sure I was being a pain. But anyways, he, he stayed there, and I almost got bit by a water moccasin because they're not native to here, but they obviously got displaced during the hurricane. And I almost got bit by it. And he yanked me up and put me up over his head and scared me to death. And he was just trying to save my life, and he scared me to death.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, I'm sure he was glad to get back to his island.
Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, thanks, man.
See you, Brandon. That is cool.
Cool place, right?
What a place.
Yeah. It's its own little
Walk
world
back
in
in time.
Yeah, it's a historical place. Look at that.
They even have boat tours. Yeah, if any of you guys watching ever come down here, definitely check this place out. So this is how it works here on the island.
You pull up, get your bait, your ice, tackle.
All right, these people are living out here just in the colder months?
Yeah. Well, I mean, these people are here full time. If you can see, these people are here full time.
Okay. Live shrimp. This is awesome.
How you guys doing?
Good, you?
Good. Yep, you got it. Thanks, man.
Okay.
Exactly. You're doing it right. I got it. Once you get it, I'm good.
All right. Here we have the gas station, and then this is the town. I say we just walk this town a little bit.
Let's walk Chokoloskee.
Check it out. I always love islands.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm getting it. If you're a big fisher, you come stay here,
You come stay here.
get a boat, go out in the Everglades every day.
Yeah. And you get lost out there, and you can catch anything you want, pretty much. I like the lifestyle a lot. I can definitely appreciate why the people live the lifestyle.
Yeah, it's just very, very still here. Mm-hmm. And nobody is outside. How much is this one?
125.
125,000. Rented land, though.
Oh, rented. Yeah.
How you doing? Oyster shells. Yeah. The whole island.
Big old Indian mouth.
Do you guys live here?
Yep.
What do we got to see? What should we see?
Ain't nothing to see here.
I think that's the point, right? It's like nobody comes here to see anything. What are you talking about, man?
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
That is a cool store.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
I just purchased a new shirt.
You can get a Chokoloskee bag.
Oh, thanks, Chris.
You scored, man.
All right, Chris. So I just bought this shirt from you because I love it. I love the design. I'll give this to you, Harrison, if you can explain what's going on here.
On the top there is the Calusa Indians, which were the first settlers on the island back in 15 BC, way years and years and years ago. And when they came here, they built this island out of shell. It used to be just a big shell island, and that's all it was. And you have the gators, you have redfish, snook, and trout on the other side. Shows Chokoloskee Island, all the little islands involved, another redfish and snook. And then you got the Smallwood store. That's where Ed Watson was killed on the island.
We went there
We
today.
checked it. Yeah.
And, anytime his guys would want to get paid, he'd kill him. So it's payday. Hey, you're a dead man. So when he got over here at the Smallwood store, all the locals gathered up and wanted answers. Well, they killed him and dragged him out of here on a skiff. And that's the story about Mr. Watson, you know.
You're living out here full time?
Full time. I moved over here in 2019 from Fort Lauderdale. I lived in Lauderdale forever.
How's it being out here?
Just
You love it.
pristine. No traffic. You get to meet a lot of nice people every day with the RVs and the rentals and the boaters.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't Can't beat my walk to work. It's only about 70 feet away. You know?
Zero crime.
Zero. Nothing here. We got rid of a lot of the crime when I moved over here, 2019. You know, you had the local druggies, you know. They didn't, you know, they didn't do the normal stuff like smoke weed or drink beer. They wanted to do all that. Those guys are gone, and everybody looks out for each other, and it's just a great place.
Would you say this is old Florida out here?
This is old Florida, what the Keys used to be, you know.
Okay.
Now the Keys are built up, and that causeway that's over here was just built, finished in 1956.
Mm-hmm.
So the only way on and off the island was the long dock there and the ferry.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not that long ago. We went out on Friday. We caught some amberjack, 6 African pompanos.
Nice.
And you're only allowed to keep 2, so we
Yeah.
kept 2. Yellowtails, and I was just using a diamond jig. You know, the flutter jigs, just
Yeah.
caught all those fish right there. We were out there for 2.5 hours.
Those fish aren't used to seeing much. That's the thing.
So you bring them home, put some in the freezer, and eat the
I don't
rest?
usually freeze nothing. We'll eat them for 2 or 3 days, and I'll give some to the residents here that can't make it out there.
Yeah.
Because some of the people that are here now, like this guy from California, he's from Jersey, they don't know what lane snapper tastes like.
No, I know.
So give them some fish, man. You know?
All right. So where are you going to drop us off? A graveyard?
We're going to take you to the Chokoloskee graveyard.
Let's go to the Chokoloskee graveyard.
And you got gravestones there from the early 1900s.
So some of these people living out here full time, or is
That's
it?
my place right here. We're in the little bastard Bible.
Oh, okay.
How you doing?
Is that your wife?
That's Debbie. Known her since she's 17.
Oh, wow. What's up, Debbie?
Not much. How are you guys doing?
Good. Chris is giving us a tour to the cemetery.
Of the cemetery?
Yeah.
Meaning this place?
No, the one behind Lopez over there.
Beware, my dog is an asshole.
That's Kramer.
That's Kramer. Are you an asshole? Are you an asshole?
That's funny.
See ya. Okay, so some of these other guys are living here full time?
Some of them do. Some go
Okay.
home for the summer. They go to Michigan or
Okay.
wherever they live at.
Some avocados and limes and
Okay. Yes.
okay.
Excellent. Thank you.
Oh, that's cool. So that's how it works. You give some fish away.
Yep. That's how it works.
Someone gets you with the avocados, and so a lot of trading.
A lot of trading. No money involved. Just, you help them out. They'll get you beer. They'll get you avocados or
Oh, that's great.
just a tight-knit community. We all watch out for each other. And this place here, JT's,
Yeah, what's going on here?
been here forever. Got a little sign there.
Built in the 20s.
Yep.
Moved from Everglade City, 6 miles away?
Yep.
Post office. So did the Chokoloskees, did they get, shot off the island, or were they gone for a long time and then people found it?
Yeah, there were trappers that come by. You'd be surprised how many people on boats, boats that had no motors or nothing, found this island. I mean, if you come from the outside,
Yeah.
coming in, how the hell do you find this place with just a compass and an old,
Right.
drew an old map on a napkin?
Yeah, I know.
You
And
know,
with the
like-
amount of mangrove islands and everything out here, it all looks the same.
And the woman at the store was telling us about the trade with Cuba, too. I found that to be
Yeah.
interesting. 90 miles away.
Yeah.
New church?
Well, the church has been here. They're adding on, going to have a little more of a bigger hall because they have a lot more people. Inside of that, back there, is another small graveyard. But to get in there, you'd be a lot of scorpions, a lot of bullshit in there,
I didn't know this was here. That's pretty cool.
So from the first settlers.
Yeah, from the first people on the island. I'll be right there, that list. There you go.
Lopez.
Yeah,
Is that the Lopez from the Lopez River?
yeah.
Luis Lopez.
1901.
Interesting, they changed the spelling of the name. Lopez with an S, Lopez with a Z. Born in Spain.
Yeah, yeah. He lived a long life. Look at that. 48, 32.
Harrison, like your relatives, right? You have Spanish blood?
I do, yeah. Before Cuba, they were from Spain. Yep.
It's your relative.
Must be distantly related, but yeah.
Could have been a like a temple for some of the Indians on the island.
Uh-huh.
Like the Egyptians would make pyramids.
Mhm.
They would make pyramids out of shells. And I think the one guy was telling me this used to be a huge.
You can tell it's a lot higher
right.
than everything else around here. Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
it is sloping.
Yeah.
But if you look at some of the pictures, when you Google it and go through the Calusa Indians, some of the temples they made from here all the way up to like North Fort Myers and Bonita Springs. Huge.
Huge.
I don't know.
Out of seashells.
Out of shells. They did everything out of shells and mud. And the Calusa Indians are actually Colombian. They're from Colombia.
No way.
Yep.
I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's what inspired you to make this shirt?
Yeah.
Because you designed all of this, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
You know, I was talking to some of the locals, and we were talking about, what to do for the islands. And I said, how about a flag? People said, yeah, we never really had a flag. So I just started
So
some
it's,
stuff up.
and you use the Florida flag is the base of it, and then you just put the designs, the icons that are...
4 things in each one. I was going to try to put, even though he's a nasty son of a Watson, I was trying to put him in there somewhere, but I could always tell him that man in the skiff could be Watson,
Cafe Cubano.
Yeah, Havana Cafe. Look at that.
Say this is a family, probably is, right? Where do their kids go to school?
Everglade City. Graduating class this year, probably 13, 14.
Okay. And most of the kids get out or some stay?
Some stay. A lot of them, I think, when they graduate, if they don't take off in their father's footsteps, either being a crabber, a fisherman, or a boat mechanic, or AC guy, they'll venture out of here. But there's not a lot of opportunity for kids here, I mean, this is
Yeah. This is downtown?
downtown Chokoloskee.
We're coming up on Main Street.
Yep.
Here it is.
That was Grand Boulevard we just turned off of.
Yeah.
Where do you get your water from?
It's piped in from Everglade City. Water on the island is very expensive. But they charge you by the gallon.
So to water a lawn is not a cheap thing here.
No, not at all. If you want to water your lawn, you're allowed 3,000 gallons for $50. After 3,000 gallons, that price goes really up.
So what they're doing here, they're paying way more than for 3,000 gallons.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's a Chokoloskee pit bull. So this house here, look at this one. Look at the land this guy owns.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Beautiful.
And he's only here a couple of weeks a year.
So this is the other end of the island.
This is the southeast corner of the island, part of Chokoloskee Bay. A couple of people fishing over there.
Roosters in the background.
A couple of peacocks over there.
Yeah, you see them?
Yep.
And they're everywhere in Miami. Everywhere.
This looks like an old Pizza Hut, doesn't it? That roof? It's
That
got that
roof,
Pizza
yeah.
Hut roof.
Let's see if we find my shoes on the side of the road here somewhere.
Did you lose them?
I took them off at some point here, before the bait shop.
Nice place they're building here.
Yeah, what's the story here?
Just the guy had the land for a couple of years, and now I think he's getting ready to retire, and he's just finishing his home up. That is the true highest part of the island, though, right here. So when storms come, a lot of people that live here put their golf carts up here.
Oh, interesting. Everyone moves their stuff over on that hill.
Boats, RVs, fifth wheels, whatever they can put up there. Yep.
It's on my shoes.
Excellent.
All right. Chris, thanks for the tour.
Yeah, man.
And the great shirt.
The guy that gave me the avocados,
Uh-huh.
that's the house he's building right there.
Oh, nice.
Well, if I see you guys again, man, stop by.
Nice to meet you,
Anytime,
man. Harrison.
Harrison.
Peter.
All right, Peter.
Yeah.
Nice
See
to
you,
meet you,
Chris.
Chris.
You guys have a good night.
All the
You too.
best.
That was nice.
Ah, what a
Nice
cool
guy.
guy. That was the full island tour.
We did the full roundabout,
That was
Chokoloskee Island.
cool.
Couldn't have been better than that.
Chokoloskee Island is another world, that's for sure.
Yep.
It's cool. Like, it would take a certain type of person that could live out here.
Yeah.
At this stage of my life, I couldn't. I wouldn't want to, but I totally get it.
Yeah. That's a good
No
way to put it.
horns, no traffic lights, less nonsense, it seems like,
Yep.
but much less stimulation. But if fishing is your thing, you're connected to the Everglades over there,
Yep.
then you're in your paradise.
Yeah, even if sitting on your porch and watching the sunset's your thing, you
Yeah.
gets that too.
Yep. All right, we're going to the mainland.
Let's go to the mainland. It's cool to be able to leave your boat at the dock here, and I have a pull start, so no key or anything. Somebody could have just gotten up on it and taken it away, but never worry about that here in Chokoloskee. It's just good people. I saw that guy running. I'm like, did I run over his line? It's the last thing I want to do. Are you good? All right. Oh, look, you got a little, damn, what do you get there? Oh, a catfish.
So there's no shortage of seafood here.
Never ending. It used to be a lot better too. Now you got to work for it a little bit, but yeah. All the fish you want.
You're saying there's a couple things to see here though, in Everglade City.
Yeah, let's go check out Everglade City. We still got a few hours of daylight.
What a tour, man.
And we're back. Cool. Good?
Yeah. That's a nice looking old church.
Everglades Community Church. Here's the
Right,
bank,
City Hall.
the old bank.
Okay, what's the story with this, do you know?
I know they're trying to bring it back. This is the original City Hall, and they're trying to bring it back to functionality.
But what was this place
It was
before?
a company town. The first time that they really tried to make it into the city. That's in the 20s and 30s by Baron Collier. That's the guy who developed Naples and all of South Florida. I think it's still called, or it is still called, Collier County because of him. The company town was working for Baron Collier to help with the land boom of South Florida. So these were all the workers that would help with the the land development, the construction, all that.
That's a beautiful building.
Yep, Bank of Everglade.
I didn't think there'd be nice architecture here, to be honest.
Seek and you shall find.
Day of surprises, Harrison.
Surprises are a good thing, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
Makes life interesting.
Yep, indeed. Here's the historic Rod and Gun Club. This was a hotel that's been here, I don't know, since the beginning of Everglade City. I know a bunch of presidents, Roosevelt, Truman, all that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they love to vacation in this specific place. And I think you'll see a little bit why now when we go inside.
We do not accept any credit cards.
Wow.
Here we go, cash only. Oh, this is cool.
Yeah.
Blaze Guts Rod and Gun Club. It's burned, it's flooded.
And it's
I'm
still
sure
here.
multiple times.
And it's still here.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So you can still stay here then?
You can still stay here. You need to reserve in advance substantially because there's not a ton of rooms.
An old phone room.
Yep, old phone booth. There's an old bar in there.
Hi.
How you doing?
Beautiful fireplace here. Dining room. Old cash registers. Mm-hmm. Alligator. There we go. And a restaurant out here, huh?
Yep.
Everyone just sort of chilling. So people are just coming down here to go in the Everglades.
They're coming down here to go in the Everglades or to get away from it all and enjoy some time by the water where people aren't going to bother them.
Right. Thanks, man.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming out here.
Appreciate it, yeah.
Thank you for coming out here and doing it. I'm glad you saw the vision, man.
I didn't see it beforehand. When you told me about the Everglades, I did not imagine that at all.
Okay.
Like zero.
Yeah.
I thought grassland, airboats,
Monotony.
Monotony alligators.
Yeah.
Not the island, not dolphins, obviously, or Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
So much. So thanks for that, bro. Appreciate it.
It was awesome.
And I also want to let people know you do it very sparingly.
Yes.
But you do guides. I mean, you have a day job, but sometimes you bring people out if they're interested, right?
Yeah, yeah. I have friends, and they ask me, they're like, "How do you get to the places you want to go to?" So, like I showed you today, my favorite thing is showing people something they've never seen before. So, that's what it's all about. So we can,
Okay, I'll leave your link down below.
Yep.
Harrison's link down below in the description.
Yep.
All right, brother. Thanks, guys, for coming along on that journey. Until the next one.
Until the next one.